Hey, welcome. So, if you're an engineer or developer, you've almost definitely run into this problem, right? You've got this mission critical piece of equipment that works like a charm, but it's totally stuck in the past. It only speaks serial while everything else is on the internet. So, how do you bridge that gap without ripping everything out and starting over? Well, today, we're going to dive into a really clever solution for exactly that from a company called Sollae Systems. It's called ezTCP. Okay, so here's the plan. First, we're going to talk about the why, the real challenge of having these isolated serial devices. Then, we'll introduce the hero of the hour, ezTCP, and check out all the different forms it comes in. After that, we'll see what kind of new powers it unlocks for your hardware, explore some of the software magic that makes it all work so smoothly, and then we'll wrap up with why it's just such a smart, simple choice for pretty much any project. All right, let's get right into it. Section 1, the Serial Device Challenge. We have to start with the core problem. I mean, just think about all those workhorse machines out there. In factories, labs, hospitals, they're super reliable, totally essential, but they were built for a different time. They're just disconnected. And, this slide really asks the million-dollar question. You've got a powerful device, a sensor, a PLC, whatever it is. It's an absolute workhorse. But all its data is trapped inside, and you can only control it with a physical cable plugged right in. In a world that runs on real-time data and remote access, is local really cutting it anymore? And this really lays out the divide, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the old world, locally controlled, isolated data, physical connections. On the other side, you've got the world we live in now, globally accessible, real-time monitoring, remote control. That giant gap between them, that's the exact problem we're here to solve. And that brings us to Section 2, and the hero of our story, ezTCP. This is the solution. It's the bridge that was designed specifically to cross that gap we just talked about, to connect that tried and true hardware with today's powerful networks. So what is this thing really? Well, at its core, ezTCP is basically a brilliant little translator. It listens to the serial data coming from your device, converts it into TCP/IP, the language of the internet, and then does the exact same thing in reverse. It's like the perfect universal translator for your hardware. And here's why that matters. I mean, why would you spend tons of hours and a boatload of money trying to build a networking solution from scratch? ezTCP is designed to save you all that development time, save you that cost, and let you add networking to your products, like, almost instantly. Okay, moving on to Section 3. Let's talk about how versatile this stuff is. Because this is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Sollae Systems gets that. An engineer designing a tiny sensor has totally different needs from someone retrofitting a giant factory machine. And that's why ezTCP comes in a few different flavors. So first up, you've got the embedded module. Think of this as the raw engine. It's super compact, incredibly durable, and it's perfect for designing right onto your own circuit boards, even if they're going to be living in some pretty harsh environments. Next, if you need something a little more put together, there's the board version. This is basically a ready-to-go circuit board that you can easily integrate into a bigger system. It gives you a huge head start. And finally, for the absolute quickest way to get up and running, there's the cased product. This is the whole shebang, a complete standalone device in its own little box. It's the plug-and-play version. You literally take it out, connect your cables, and you are ready to go. All right, Section 4. So we've given our old device a network port. So what? What can we actually do now? This is where things get really cool, and the true potential is unleashed. Just like that, your isolated machine is now on the grid. You can monitor its status from your phone on the other side of the world, you can control it remotely, and check this out, this is my favorite part, serial tunneling. So imagine you have two serial devices that need to talk to each other, but one's in London and the other's in Tokyo. With ezTCP, you can actually tunnel their connection over the internet so they think they're connected by one long cable. It's so powerful. Now, connecting the hardware is really only half the battle, right? What about your PC software? The program that's designed to talk to a local COM port. How does it talk over the internet? Well, this is where the software magic comes in. Say hello to ezVSP, which stands for Ez Virtual Serial Part. It's this awesome little piece of software that Sollae Systems gives you for free. Its whole job is to create a virtual COM port on your Windows PC. That way, your existing programs can connect to it without you having to change a single line of code. Okay, let's walk through this because it's so clever. First, ezVSP creates, let's say, COM5 on your computer. It doesn't physically exist, it's just virtual.
Then, your old software, which you don't have to touch, connects to COM5 just like it always has. But behind the scenes, ezVSP is taking all that data, shooting it over the internet to the ezTCP device, which then passes it to your hardware. It is completely seamless. Your software has no idea it isn't talking through a cable plugged right into the back of the PC.
So let's bring this all home in our final section. When you put it all together, the flexible hardware, the new internet capabilities, and that seamless software magic, you really start to see the big picture. You see why this isn't just a product. It's a complete, elegant solution to a very common problem. At the end of the day, it all comes back to this one simple, powerful idea. This is a quick and easy-to-use solution. It doesn't try to do a million things. It solves one very specific, very important problem, and it does it so well that it saves developers a ton of time, money, and yeah, a lot of headaches. And that's really the big takeaway here. The barrier to getting your legacy gear connected to the network is so much lower than you think. This tech opens up an entire world of possibilities for remote monitoring, control, and data collection. So the final question to you is, what's that one device in your world that's just waiting to be brought online? What will you connect to the internet next?